Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Darrell Brooks saga. First of all, I want to start by thanking you guys for subscribing. It's been a wild ride. We're almost to 400 subscribers, which is awesome. So if you can share this video, you can subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'll appreciate it a lot. Like it means a lot, and it will help me to to be able to make some improvements in this channel. So thank you so much, and I really appreciate it. Now, in this video, I've seen this trial multiple times. I told you guys in the comments that I also watched this trial too many times. But there's some parts that I avoid. There's some parts there, yeah, we can make fun of Darrell Brooks because he doesn't know words, so he says stuff that is not relevant. But this is one of the videos that are most heart wrenching, and we're gonna go straight at it, but it's gonna be hard.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
Was your group, the Extreme Dance Group, marching in the Waukesha Christmas Parade that day?
Yes.
Was there a vehicle or a float associated with your group in the parade?
Yeah, there was a truck.
What kind of truck?
It was,
Pickup truck?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the objection? Her answer may stand. I'll instruct the state to avoid leading questions.
One leading objection sustained. Wow.
About how many times did you make it through your routine during that parade?
Overruled.
Foundation.
I don't recall.
Was there a certain point when your dancers stopped dancing?
Overruled. You may
It
answer.
is relevant.
Yeah, they did stop dancing.
I would move Exhibit 33 into evidence and ask for permission to publish.
Before I allow that,
If you could ask her about the non-labeled boxes.
Sure. You can see that there are some boxes on this diagram that don't have names in them, is that right?
Correct.
What do those boxes represent?
Who wasn't injured?
How is it legal to instruct the prosecution to ask a question that they should already know to ask?
He's asking them to lay more foundation.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled. Exhibit 33
Confused Darrell.
is received and permission to publish is granted.
So the
Look at
parade
how
route,
many
if
were
we were moving forward, it would be the bottom of this page, is that right?
Yeah.
We're
How
going to play
many?
just a few seconds of this to see if you recognize it. You played 19 seconds.
He doesn't want to
Do
see
you
that.
recognize this video?
Not this video.
Okay. Did you recognize the people in front of the truck holding the banner?
Objection. The witness stated she doesn't recognize the video. How is it permitted?
Your objection is noted.
Doesn't
It's
matter.
overruled.
Does this video appear to be an accurate depiction of your group along the parade route during the Waukesha Christmas Parade?
Yeah.
you may answer.
Yes.
I'd move to admit exhibit number 32 and ask for permission to publish.
I'm sorry,
Don't.
Your Honor, did you sustain that objection?
Yes.
I didn't rule on
Abstain it.
Which objection?
That I just objected to?
It was overruled.
Are you making that decision now?
They already made the
There's
decision.
been a request by the state to receive Exhibit 32, Mr. Brooks.
I objected.
All right, then your objection's noted. It's overruled.
On what grounds,
Exhibit
Your Honor?
Exhibit 32
It's an
is
exhibit.
received.
It's evidence. That's why.
The foundation has been laid, and permission to publish is granted.
On what grounds, Your Honor?
The record speaks for itself.
They already told you.
Grounds, Your Honor.
You may play.
What did we see at the end of that video?
Um,
You can take some time.
a car going through the parade.
If you were standing in the middle of your group, were you on the left side or the right side?
Objection, lead.
Overruled. She may answer.
Which way are you looking?
If you're walking down the parade route.
I'm looking towards the truck.
Yep.
I would be on the left side.
Does it appear as though that diagram with the names that we looked at, Exhibit 33, does it appear as though that diagram was an accurate depiction of where the named girls were positioned at the time the SUV came into the group?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what's the objection?
Hearsay.
She was there.
Overruled.
Not hearsay. Look at those bad eyes.
We're just going to play a few seconds to see if you recognize this. Let's do a few more seconds. Do you recognize this video?
Not the video, but
Do you recognize images from the video?
it's
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
No.
Okay. Now do you recognize the video?
yeah.
What does it show?
The car going through and someone
Is
flying.
that an
Wow.
accurate depiction of the scene as you saw it that day?
Mm-hmm.
Hearsay. She already stated she didn't recognize the video.
It's not.
Mischaracterizes her testimony. Your objection's overruled. It is not
Is he
hearsay.
not listening?
You may answer. And if you did answer, if you could just repeat it.
Could you?
Is that video an accurate depiction of the scene as you saw it unfold that day?
Yes.
Your answer may stand. Thank you.
What was the answer?
Yes.
He's not paying attention.
Move Exhibit 34 into evidence and request permission to publish. There's a figure on the bottom, on the left side of the screen, appears to be wearing black with long hair.
I cannot imagine what it's like watching this all over again. I mean, these are her. I think she's a teacher in this, so these are her students. Watching them fly all over the way with him, running them over. It's just I cannot imagine.
You recognize that person?
Yes.
You can't even see any features
Mr.
in
Brooks,
there.
that's argumentative. Your
Yeah.
objection's noted.
Shut
It's
up.
overruled. You may answer.
Hearsay. Objection
Not
for hearsay.
hearsay.
It's not hearsay.
You may answer.
Clear hearsay.
Wow, clear
You
hearsay.
may answer.
Yes.
Exhibit 34A is
Like-
received.
It is.
This is just 8 seconds long, so we'll play the whole thing to see if you recognize it, okay?
Okay.
Do you recognize that video?
Yes.
Move Exhibit
Still no
35 into
emotion.
evidence and request permission
Still
to
just
publish.
dead eyes watching the witness.
Exhibit 35.
Is received permission to publish. Granted, your objection is noted for the record.
Objection still. Is the video, who even took the video? Is it relevant?
Doesn't matter.
Sir, your
It's not
it's
relevant
not
who
a
took the
objection.
video.
It's a statement. We can ask questions later.
Not even the witness that took.
Doesn't matter if it's the witness that
Go
took
ahead.
it.
So, Judge, before we begin, I have to step in here and request that Mr. Brooks be instructed to stop making comments under his
Yeah.
breath.
Shut
This
up.
witness is very clearly having an emotional and difficult time testifying, and she doesn't need to hear that.
Objection. She can't hear anything I'm saying.
Mr. Brooks, the mics are very good in this courtroom, so please refrain.
Just shut up.
Keep going.
It's all you gotta do. Shut up.
So, Ms. Kajewski, I'd like to work our way through this name by name, based on your recollection of what you saw during the parade that day. You knew Vivian Urell before November 21st, right?
Yes.
And do you recall seeing her either while the SUV was driving through or after?
Objection. Hearsay.
It's not hearsay.
Not
Overruled.
hearsay.
I saw her after, not during, because I was in the front.
Can you describe the circumstances when you saw her after?
Objection. Hearsay.
Mr. Brooks, I'm going to direct your attention to
Please.
review section 908.01. You have a statute book. Please do that. It's not hearsay.
Moving down the
There
list.
you go. Read.
Sam Coelho. You recognize that name?
Yes.
And you didn't see her in the hospital afterwards?
Not that night. No.
Did you see her in the days following this incident?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Overruled.
Right.
Answer.
Yeah, as soon as the day she was able to have a visitor, I was there.
When you say visitor, what do you mean? Where was she?
Overruled.
She was at Children's.
Children's Hospital?
Yeah.
And you know she was injured as a result of what?
Overruled. She may answer as to what her knowledge of the injuries were.
Yeah, she was there because she was struck.
You put Exhibit 33 back up. So, Ms. Kajewski, there's two remaining names there on the diagram, Isabella Bartelt and Maddie Hollingsworth. Did you see either of them as the SUV went through the group?
I did not.
But based on their positioning, they would have been how close to the SUV, in your best estimate?
Just a couple feet.
You're not able to give an accurate estimate about how fast the SUV was traveling at that point, is that right?
It's kind of leading.
Okay. Well, please, if you think you can, please tell us how fast do you think it was traveling?
It's not
Overruled.
I
hearsay.
thought around 55.
Wow.
Many of your hearsay objections, they're not hearsay at all, sir. And I
all.
hope you're not just saying them just to interpose an objection.
For the record, Your Honor, how do I know that the prosecution isn't objecting to anything based on the same assumptions?
What?
I don't understand what you're saying.
A lot
You
of
have that
times,
statute book, so if you'd like to read the hearsay statute, start with 90801. I realize you are not a lawyer, Mr. Brooks, but you still should have a good faith basis to make the objection and then not argue with me when I rule on the objection. All right? The state will give its one word or statement. If it's self-evident to the court, I don't need the parties to even say much at all. But that's primarily why your objection's based on hearsay. There was one I sustained because it was in fact calling for hearsay. But when a witness has
those were wrong.
knowledge, hold on.
No,
when a witness,
only
a
one.
witness is not asked to say what another person has
Why
said.
is he explaining
Assuming
this?
there's no exception that applies,
explain
or it's
it
just
to
not
him.
hearsay under the rule, and they have otherwise personal knowledge about something, they can provide that answer. So I'm hoping that's helpful to you as you formulate your objections. I just ask that when I rule on them, you not interpose the same objection before the witness has answered. When I say it's
Going to
overruled,
continue to do
the
that.
person may answer. Your objection stands. It's noted. It doesn't need to be said again.
I'm now informed. I don't understand how
Doesn't matter. You should. You're representing yourself.
someone can testify to things being told in the hospital. They're not a
Because it's
family
his
member,
knowledge.
parent, or anything. So how would they know what injuries someone would have? How would that information be disclosed to someone without being a parent or a direct relative? That would be hearsay.
No.
Sir, again, people can testify based on personal knowledge. What's hearsay is when it comes into court and they say,
She's explaining it
"So-and-so
again."
told me." If they saying, "I was told," or again, I think you're confusing personal knowledge with hearsay. So you can question people on how they knew that information, but you do that at your peril, because if you open the door for them to tell you how they know, then potentially hearsay is going to come in. So with that, I just wanted to give you that information.
She just gave her a
I
class
can't
on what
obviously
hearsay
further
is.
explain
That's
to you,
not
sir.
supposed.
All
That's
I'm
not how
gonna
it's
say,
supposed to work.
Ignorance of the law is not something you can use as a valid kind of defense or.
Now even I understand what
Keep
hearsay
saying I don't
is.
understand.
I don't.
You did this of your own free will. You waived your right to an attorney, and the ignorance that you claim is not valid at
Yeah.
this point, sir. So
I
with
also
that,
altered that contract.
It doesn't matter.
You accepted the contract in the,
It doesn't
the way that
matter.
I sent it back to you. Now let's
sir,
be
we don't
fair.
have a contract together. The contract
do
was
not.
being
You're right.
misapplied in this circumstance. All right, we are in recess. I'll see everyone. Let's be back at 1:30. Thank you, everyone. Back on the record then.
All right,
in
let's
State
see.
versus Brooks, appearances are as they were.
Like the guy before. Let's see how this guy this person, this human being treats this girl, this woman, that he clearly sees as having a bad time. Like you can see he was crying. Now let's see if he shows some respect towards that. If she's a little bit sensitive, a little empathic because he hit her students, which I know is not her kids, but it's pretty close.
This morning, do we have Ms. Gajewski available? All right, bring her in and we'll bring the jury in as soon as she's up here for her cross-exam.
State that I do consent to that name, nor do I know any individual by that name.
I'm sorry, Mr.
Your lack of
Unknown
consent
individual.
is noted for the record.
Doesn't matter.
All right, go ahead.
I can call an apple
On
an
the
orange,
record
but that
before the
doesn't
jury
stop it
comes
being an
out,
apple.
I would like to direct Your Honor to a case United States versus
Why
Scott,
now?
535.
Mr. Brooks?
That's
if
irrelevant
you
right
have
now.
a motion, you need to put it in writing, and then I will address it. I'm not going to deal with any oral motions right now. So if you're asking me to reconsider something, you need to follow the proper procedure.
What is the proper procedure?
Write it down.
I've told you repeatedly what a motion is, so, and if it's a reconsideration, 806.07 is the statute I would direct your attention to.
It's not a reconsideration. It's just bringing up the subject matter jurisdiction.
Why?
Which
Sir,
you
I've
know,
already
not
done
relevant
this
right now. You're
repeatedly.
interviewing the
Any further
witness.
times you want me to address it, you need to put it in writing for the court to consider a proper motion with the relief that you're requesting, the legal basis, and the facts upon which you are relying.
There you go.
I
You
have
cannot
that
just
here,
say
Your
it.
Honor.
Not just simply a case, I want a motion.
I've put in several motions that have yet to be
Sir,
answered.
I've already addressed them, the jury's on its way out. I'm not gonna delay the start of this cross-examination for this argument yet again.
It's not
I've
an
already
argument.
addressed it. The
It's
fact
an
that it's the
argument.
afternoon doesn't mean I need to address it again. Jury's coming out.
It's going to continue to be brought up. It's going to continue to be brought up, Your Honor. It hasn't been proven that you have jurisdiction, that this court has jurisdiction. I think it's relevant.
Not.
Subject matter jurisdiction can't be forfeited or waived. You know that.
Don't tell her what she knows.
Answering, Your Honor.
Please, the jury's coming out.
By not answering, Your Honor, you are agreeing to a tactic agreement.
Tack it.
Is
There
that
we
a
go. It's
judicial
the
determination that you don't have to answer.
tack it agreement. He just learned
I'll
that.
take that as a yes.
Oh,
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
you can take it as you want. But it's not an agreement. Just because you say something and I don't
Right, Mr.
respond.
Brooks, you may question the witness if you have any questions for her.
I don't consent to being called that name, as I stated before. I will note that, like that
The
noted for the
defendant can
record.
question the witness then.
Is that noted for the record, Your Honor?
Shut up. And move on.
Ask your questions, please.
Is it noted for the record, Your Honor?
Everything is noted on the record. Every nonsense you say is on the record. She's there. Ask her
There's
questions.
a few exhibits that you stated on record that you weren't familiar with seeing. Would that be fair to say?
Once clarified, I did say that I remembered seeing them.
So you saw those videos before today?
No.
Yes,
About
Okay.
how many times do you recall seeing them before today?
just once.
Do you recall who showed them to you?
Yes.
You stated for the record and for the jury?
Can you repeat that?
Can you state who showed you the videos for the record and for the jury?
Yeah, the state.
And who would you be referring to when you say the state?
The three seated next to you.
Are you referring to the opposite table next to me?
Yes.
Yes.
Which other table?
Let the record reflect that. She identified the three prosecutors sitting at the prosecution table.
No objection.
The record will so reflect.
Were you expecting to testify?
Yes, I got a letter in the mail.
Do you recall if that letter was a subpoena?
Yes, it was a subpoena.
Okay.
You frequently referred to the vehicle as the car.
Oh my god. Okay, I made a poll. I think the poll is still up there. Where I asked you guys, is an SUV is a car? And like 88% of you say yes. And yeah, I agree. The definition of a car is a small vehicle. Well, not small, but a vehicle with motor that can carry a small amount of people. That's a car. You have a car.
Do you recall those statements?
Yes.
So, for clarification, what type of vehicle did you see that day?
It's a
Was it
car.
a car?
It was a Ford SUV.
And how were you able to determine the make and model of the vehicle?
You never said the model.
The witness did not describe the model.
Rounds.
Overruled. She may answer.
So when I first saw it, I made a point to figure out what car it was, not the license plate. And then as the vehicle got closer to me, I saw the Ford emblem. That's how I knew it was a Ford.
There you go. Very
And
big,
during
bright
those
blue
determinations of
logo.
the make and model of the vehicle, did you catch a description of the driver?
No, I did not.
Oh, she saw the car.
Any reason why you would be more focused on the make and model of the vehicle instead of who was driving the vehicle?
Again, only the make.
I can't
not
tell
the
you
model.
why. I just made sure I knew what the vehicle was.
And you didn't try to see if you can spot a license plate at any time.
It all happened way too fast.
So would it be fair to say that it happened fast enough for you to not be able to make out the model and make of the vehicle,
No, I knew exactly what it was.
but
It was
not
a Ford.
exactly who was driving the vehicle?
No.
No, I did
already
not
said that.
look who was driving it. Just the make.
There you go. Nice for her. Don't let this
You
guy bully
stated
you.
that you observed some girls from your dance team in the hospital. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
And you stated that a few of them were laying on the ground.
Yes.
Any idea why they would be laying on the ground?
There
in
were
the
so many
hospital?
people.
Because there was so many people, there
Yes.
wasn't enough room. So people were standing, sitting, and laying on the ground because the rooms were overflowed.
Were they being attended to at that time?
Nope, because there was too many people.
Yes.
Did you recall feeling like maybe they should have been attended to,
What does
seeing
that
as how
matter?
they may have been seriously injured?
The nurses were attending to who needed it immediately. The nurses were doing the best they could.
So it would be fair to say that the girls that you observed on the ground weren't of immediate concern to the nurses at that time.
Lower concern.
At that time, they weren't.
You were killing people.
Were you injured in any way during this incident?
I was not.
And you testified earlier to the approximate speed of the vehicle. Do you recall what your answer was?
Yeah, about 55 miles per hour.
And how were you able to come to
It's a
that
guess.
determination?
Because I've drove for a couple of years now, and that's just the number that came to my head. Because when I drive, I know what 55 feels like, and I know what 25 feels like, and that was just my best guess.
Yeah, it's a guess.
So it would be fair to say that you were making an assumption.
I guess.
You didn't know for sure.
Nope. Yeah, that was just my best guess.
Yeah.
In regards to your dance team, did you observe anyone struck?
I can't say I remember seeing a vehicle hit them. I remember seeing bodies in the air and on the ground.
Yeah, you blocked that stuff out of your head.
So
I
at
don't want
that
to remember.
point, it would be fair to say that you didn't know if the people that were on the ground or in the air or whatnot were in fact struck by a vehicle.
Well, I did know it was the vehicle because I turned around and I saw the vehicle coming towards them. And then I think I blacked out until they actually were in the air and on the ground.
Jesus. You don't want
By
to see
blacked out, what do you mean by that? State that, what that means for the jury and for the record.
that.
So
Every time that he says that, to state that from the jury and for the record, is because he doesn't know what it means. Like, explain to me what that means because I don't know.
I can't see anything, but I can hear it. So when I say blackout, I mean I can't visualize it, but I can hear it happening.
Was that the first time that you ever had a blackout?
Yeah,
Yeah, hopefully.
So it's never happened before that day.
never.
Any idea what caused it on that
The
occasion?
horrible event?
No. Stress. Shock.
Do you recall if anyone was walking directly next to you at the time of the incident?
I was walking next to the girls on my team that got struck.
Her whole team.
Do you recall making a statement that everything happened so fast,
Yes.
He already said that. Right
but
now.
not fast enough for you to identify the vehicle?
Nope. I remember exactly what the vehicle was.
A fork.
About how close would you estimate the vehicle came to you?
I don't know.
Did it get close to you?
I don't know. I blacked out.
So at what point did your memory go fuzzy?
He just told you.
All of a sudden, I don't remember anything. I can hear it, and then after, I remember seeing the bodies. So I would say I blacked out from when I saw the vehicle to after it passed.
Any idea how long that may have been, roughly, if you recall?
2
A
seconds.
second.
Yeah.
So pretty much like the snap of a finger.
Yeah, because it went by so fast.
And from your recollection, that was quick enough for you to miss anybody being struck.
What?
I blacked out, so I didn't see them physically get hit.
Do you recall at any time reading or seeing a complaint in this matter?
No.
Do you recall at any time filing any claim in this matter?
No.
Would you consider yourself a party to this matter?
He was
Grounds.
there. He's a witness.
Sustained.
On roll this man.
He is a party.
Do you recall if you were contacted by the plaintiff in this matter?
There we go.
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Grounds.
Overruled, she may answer.
Can you say who the plaintiff is?
Nice.
I'm asking you, are you aware of the plaintiff? Were you contacted by the plaintiff
not what you
at
asked.
any time?
I don't know what the plaintiff is.
The plaintiff would be
You can explain.
whoever is bringing the claim for the charges in the matter.
So not. Then yeah.
What?
Yeah, what? You were contacted by the plaintiff?
Objection.
She answered yes. I'll answer grounds.
An objection, hold on.
Objection. Move to strike
Grounds.
legal analysis,
Grounds.
and the defendant has testified.
Yeah.
I'll sustain the objection. I'll grant the request to strike the question and the answer for the reasons given by the state.
Yeah, you cannot testify.
Who
You
were you
cannot explain.
contacted about testifying?
The state.
And that, I'm assuming the state of Wisconsin, correct?
I just know them as the state. Right there.
Right there, as in referring to the prosecution table?
Yeah.
Correct.
To let the record show that she identified the state as the three attorneys at the prosecution table.
No objection.
Record will still reflect?
And do you recall having a conversation with the state?
Yes.
Would it be fair to say that you would identify the state as the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained.
He doesn't know.
Have
The
you
plaintiff.
ever had any interactions with the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
This, again.
Sustained.
Do you see the plaintiff in the courtroom today?
Cut him
Same
off.
objection.
Grounds.
You're gonna cut him off
Sustained.
anyway. Just do it.
Do you even know if there's a plaintiff?
Same objection.
Grounds.
Sustained.
So as far as you know, in your opinion, who would you say is the plaintiff in this matter?
Again, she doesn't
Objection.
know. She already told you she doesn't know.
Sustained.
Cut him off. He's so confused. I am too.
You visited the hospital. How did you learn of the injuries to any of your dance team partners?
The only injury, well, not even injury, I only knew Julia had something wrong with her brain at the time because they saw spinal fluid coming out of her nose.
And were you told that directly from a doctor?
I heard them freaking out and rushing her to a CT scan because I was right next to her, helping them as she seized and vomited.
So you overheard from the nurses what the diagnosis was.
Yes.
What about for Sam? Were you told directly by medical professionals at that time that you were able to see her of any possible injuries?
I wasn't told by them. She actually called me.
Can I strike that answer for hearsay?
He's asking for hearsay, and when he gets the response, he's gonna strike his own question. What? Can you? It blows my mind how this is happening. You are asking the questions, and then you are striking their answers. What?
But the answer was hearsay.
Yeah, you asked for
Ask the
it.
question.
It's incredible.
For example, like GoFundMe's or
You go with the financial interest.
donations or anything for the victims. Were you aware of anything like that going on in the days after the incident? Grounds.
Relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Doesn't matter.
Are you still currently a member of the dance team?
I'm not. I do not work there anymore.
And was that decision
memories.
made by the incident, or was it just a personal decision?
Relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
You testified earlier to having the blackout and that being the first time that happened. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Have you had any blackouts any time since that day?
No.
Nothing that horrible has happened. Now.
First and only time would be that day.
Correct.
No further questions.
Yes, thank you. Ms. Kajewski, with respect to that blackout, you testified that you don't have a visual memory of the SUV actually striking any girls that day. Is that right?
Correct.
You do have a visual memory of the immediate aftermath of the strike?
I do.
And what is that memory?
Objection. Hearsay.
It's not here. Oh my God!
It's
Again.
overruled.
Just pure chaos. Shoes everywhere, palms everywhere, bodies, people screaming, running around. Just chaos.
When asked on cross-examination what caused your blackout, you said stress and shock. You remember giving that testimony?
Yes.
At any time in your life before November 21st of 2021, had you ever witnessed an SUV drive through a group of young women?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
Objection. Relevancy.
Overruled.
You cannot just
No.
tell all the
What
objections.
about any time since November 21st, 2021?
Objection. Relevancy.
Overruled.
No.
Did you participate with your dance team in the Waukesha Christmas Parade on November 21st of last year?
Yes.
Again with the beat.
So we played about 11 seconds for you there. Do you recognize that video?
Yes.
Have you seen it before?
Yes.
What does it show?
It shows a car hitting some of our girls.
Is that video an accurate depiction of how the events unfolded that day?
Yes.
I'd move Exhibit 36 into evidence and ask for permission to publish.
Exhibit
Alright,
36
react
is
to that,
received.
my guy.
Permission to
Show
publish
some
is
compassion,
granted.
some empathy.
Your Honor, is the video playing at the right speed?
My understanding is it will be.
We'll double check for Mr. Brooks. Can we make sure that we've got it at 100%? Yep.
It just wasn't turned up. So that means when it was just showed, it wasn't playing at the right speed.
I think I can just very simply clarify. To adjust the speed, you have to change it to see what it's set at. So it was at 100%, and it is now back at 100%.
Thank you.
That's how BLC works.
Clearly wasn't at the right speed. Objection.
Ah, it's awful. Awful.
Okay, I'd like to go back to the beginning of that, please. We're going to slow that down, Miss Sutton. And I'd like you, at a certain point, we're going to pause. And if possible, if you can, I'd like you to identify some people in the frame for us, okay?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to play from the beginning at, can we reduce it, please, to 40%? And turn the sound off.
I see one person laying on the ground in this frame. That is Vivian
What's her last name?
Ural.
Are you able to identify anybody else who's depicted in the video at this point?
I believe that's Olivia Stover in the left.
Mark it as Exhibit 36B.
Why is he
Enter it into
confused?
Evidence, please.
Objection. You can see face.
Doesn't matter.
Instructions noted. 36B is received.
Ms. Sutton, can you walk us through your memory of what happened as the SUV began to go through your group?
I heard some yelling behind me, some screaming, and I looked over my left shoulder. And just as I looked over my left shoulder, there was a red car that drove through. By the time I looked, it was already hitting our girls.
You know who Charlotte Urell is?
Yes.
Can you explain for us her relationship to the Extreme Dance Group?
Overruled. Give me the answer.
She is the older sister of two of the Waukesha Extreme Dancers.
When did you see her? After the SUV went through the group, when's the next time you saw Charlotte Urell?
Weeks later at the dance studio.
Okay, and did you make any observations of Charlotte at that time?
She was on crutches.
Do you know why she was on crutches?
Overruled.
She was hit by the car that drove through.
During the parade?
Yes.
The red SUV we saw in the videos you watched?
Yes.
Okay. What about Grayson Urell? Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Who's that?
He is the younger brother of two of the Waukesha Extreme Dancers.
When is the next time after the SUV came through your group that you saw Grayson?
Weeks later when he was discharged from the hospital after being hit
Weeks?
from the red
Jesus.
SUV.
Okay. And what personal observations did you make of Grayson at that time?
He had a large cast on his arm. I believe he might have been in a wheelchair or crutches.
Can you describe for us the uniform that your girls were wearing that day?
White Santa hats with light-up headbands attached to them. White light-up gloves and white pom-poms.
Could we please display for the witness only exhibit number 102?
He's so mad.
This is a red SUV that is smashed up. And there's a white light-up headband on what used to be the side mirror.
Do you recognize that white light-up headband?
Yes.
What is it?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled. Give me the
Hearsay.
answer.
That is one of the headbands that was over our girls' white Santa hats.
Any questions for this witness?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see this acting? I mean, he was fine. Well, he was angry. He was like, he was doing this. Well, the prosecution was, the state was asking her. But now he's like, ah, I guess I do. Oh, I'm so sad. Take your time. Feel better.
When did you first notice a vehicle approaching?
I heard screaming and yelling behind me, and that was when I looked over my left shoulder.
Do you recall how close the vehicle was to you at the time where you looked over your left shoulder?
It was on the left side, and I was on the far right, so it wasn't very close to me.
Were you able to identify any driver of the vehicle?
No.
Would it be fair to say that you referred to it, the vehicle, numerous times as car?
Yes.
It's a car.
Would
Read
it
the
also be
definition
fair
of
to say
car.
that you then identified it as an SUV?
It's both.
Yes.
It's a car. It's an SUV. It's a
So
vehicle.
what exactly did you see? What type of vehicle did you actually see, an SUV or a car?
Both.
It was an SUV.
Any reason why you would refer to it as car?
I refer to all cars as just cars, no matter what they are.
Yeah.
If it's a truck, it's still a car.
Yeah.
Would it be fair to say that certain vehicles look different than others?
Absolutely.
Dumb question, dumb person.
At what point do you recall hearing that there may be an active shooter?
When I was gathering the girls who hadn't been hit, a man came up to me and said that there was an active shooter
Do you,
amongst all of that.
do you recall if that was somebody marching in a parade or a spectator, or
I'm not sure.
were they any law enforcement?
No.
Were you able to identify the driver?
No.
You already asked that.
Or were you able to identify a license plate number?
No.
License place?
Were you injured during the incident in any way?
No.
You already said that.
Do you recall in the statement that you gave to Detective Schwartz that you observed people running towards the sidewalk?
Yes.
Did you see anyone on the sidewalk struck by the vehicle?
No.
Do you recall stating that you were waiting inside of a building for what seemed like a long time?
Yes.
And what would you estimate time-wise what time frame that would be?
Probably.
Just object here and ask for clarification about what building we're talking about.
Sustain us to the form of the question, please rephrase.
Well, from the report, it just says they needed to seek shelter inside of a building, so it doesn't say
Oh,
the name
don't
of
ask
the
that
building
then.
in the report. I guess that's why I didn't refer to a specific name
Ask
of the
her.
building.
Just ask your question, Mr. Brooks. Please rephrase.
How long would you estimate you seek shelter?
Probably around an hour.
Do you recall in your written statement saying that it seemed as if something was wrong with the vehicle?
Yes.
And what would you, from your recollection, what would you say was wrong with the vehicle?
It was going very fast.
In a parade.
I thought maybe there was brake failure happening because it was going so fast.
And what made you come to that conclusion?
Because there was a car driving through a parade
Yes.
instead of slowly rolling through like the other vehicles.
Good answer.
So it'd be fair to say your initial thought was something was wrong with the vehicle.
Yes.
Did you see any smoking from the vehicle, any damage to the vehicle at that point?
No.
Did you see anyone struck after the vehicle passed you?
Yes.
Do you recall if the vehicle had any tinted windows?
I do not recall.
Do you recall any windows being down or anything like that?
Now, my thinking here is that he wants to establish that he wasn't alone in the car, I guess. That's maybe someone was in the back seat of this car with a gun, like forcing him to go through the parade or something like that. I don't know.
No.
Do you recall anything being tossed from the vehicle, falling out of the vehicle?
No.
About how long would you approximate you watched the travel of the vehicle after it had passed you?
I didn't watch the vehicle after it went past me. I was looking at the dancers on the ground.
Yeah,
What
priorities.
is your current assignment as a detective?
I'm in the computer forensics unit.
All right, we're gonna leave it like through here. We went through the extreme dance part of the thing. Tomorrow we're gonna come back with the analysis of the speed of the car. So thank you for watching. Give it a like if you make it this far, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye bye.